put them together and they've got the gift of crab.
Alrighty. We didn't establish ahead of time who was going to do it, so you go with it.
Welcome back, Grabber Gang. We're here today with Hafsa and Will. They just competed. Well, Will hosted the West Coast Arm Sport Grip Sport Championships, a dual-sanctioned event, World's Strongest Grip at the LA Fit Expo. And the women's overall champion, Miss Hafsa, is with us today, and we are so excited to have her and just hear about her kick-ass performance. Yeah, of course. I've been wanting to talk to you. I've been a big fan of yours for probably over a year now, so I'm pretty stoked. But yeah, and Will, anything you want to add?
Yeah, we know that Tanner was on the Grip Show and stuff, and we've got Hafsa here, so we've got the 2 overall winners, hopefully, between the 2 shows.
Alexi won overall.
Oh, he did?
By a couple of points, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, missed
Tanner
that.
won the 100-kilo class.
Yeah. That made me... It was pretty angry to listen to that episode, just because he's so amazing. He's pretty monstrously strong, and it's frustrating. But anyway, it's fine. Everyone's strong. But, yeah. But since this is our show, we're gonna get into some other aspects of it too that everybody likes. So,
and first of all, congratulations, Will, for running a great event. Everybody I've spoken to that went loved their time there, had a great time, and I'm almost positive a lot of the women all had PRs, like PR. So like awesome. The energy, the event itself running smoothly. I mean, a lot goes into that, and just from an athlete's perspective, huge thank you. I hope to attend next year. That's an amazing accomplishment to run something that smoothly with a lot of the gear you set up yourself. And I'm quite impressed from, my seat from New York State. It looked like a great event. So congratulations. And Hafsa, how long have you been doing grip? Because your star has kind of risen like a shot. So take us back. Who got you involved? What was your, how did it all start?
So I started in competing mostly strongman, and that was probably about 4 years ago. And then Alan at Untamed Strength has strongman classes. And so a couple of times he would put in a grip implement in the class. And the first one was the Rolling Thunder. I had no idea what it was. Everyone just said it's a one-arm deadlift, just try it. And he also has a leaderboard at the gym, and Rolling Thunder is one of the events. And he said, you might get on the board. Let's see what you got. And I was able to do it. I think it was 121 pounds, and everyone kept saying, that's a really good weight. And I had no idea what a good weight was on it. So that was just my first real experience with grip, was the Rolling Thunder. And then, and obviously in strongman, we use axle a lot. So I trained with that more than a barbell. And with grip specifically, my coach, Matt Webb, wanted to host a grip competition. He thought I'd be really good at it. So that was back in, I think, last February or 2 Februaries ago.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So that was my first actual grip competition. There were no other women competing, I don't think. So I took home the trophy.
Amazing. Yeah. Did you beat everybody at the Rolling Thunder, men included? I would assume, because that is a monster.
So my claim to fame with that is I did beat Alan Thrall.
Nice.
With the Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised that Alan Thrall wasn't a stronger grip competitor based off of his years and years and years of strongman training.
I don't know. Yeah.
Alan.
I don't think he listens.
We're safe. He's somebody we can, not that we're talking smack, but safely.
No,
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I saw he just did as a side note, he just did I guess a powerlifting meet with no music, and like everyone weighed in after their events, their stuff. So you see like, okay, here's your weight class is what you like weigh after the comp kind of thing.
Oh, and there
So
was
that was
no
interesting.
commands either, I believe.
Yeah. No commands, no music, no nothing.
Yeah, I think it was a few years ago because he still had the long hair and the beard, which he no longer has.
He grew it back.
Oh, that was an old thing? Yeah, because he just recently posted that again or something, and
yeah,
I don't know.
think it was a throwback, and I wonder if he's wanting to do that, something like that again, because he hosts a lot of competitions out of his gym. I actually wouldn't mind trying to convince him to do another grip competition because there are so few in Sacramento area, and just traveling with, I have a lot of kids, and so just the logistics of traveling, it just it's hard. So
yeah,
a local competition would be great.
Let Alan know if he wants some help. I can help.
Yeah, okay. I definitely will.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be cool. So you're in Sacramento. You did strongman. Just we talked about it, I think, on a previous episode apparently, and then also a little bit before here. But like, so you bought an axle bar because it was the cheaper option to like getting a power bar or
a barbell. Yeah. We are on a budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually was I always pretty mediocre average distance runner. That was my thing. I did not play sports growing up. And then when I got older, I got into running, and it took a toll on my knees, and I got a little depressed, especially when the gyms shut down. And my husband actually suggested strength training. And a friend of his had found Untamed Strength, which is probably like 15 minutes away from my house. And
oh, nice.
My husband said, why don't we just do a strongman class and just try it out? Just one class. We don't have to commit to anything. We did the class. I am I'm a naturally nervous person. I get intimidated very easily. And I went to the class and I liked it, but I wasn't sure that I was any good at it. So, unknown to me, my husband actually said, well, I signed us up for the month, so we have to try to keep going just to get our money's worth.
Yeah, right.
And he never went back. I just kept going back and he just kept going. So, and then we slowly built our garage gym with the axle and a couple of other strongman things, and then eventually a rolling thunder and just the pinch grip block and then the hub. And so that's really like how I just kept doing. I started to just slowly build confidence and enjoy it, and just took off from there, I guess.
Nice. That's cool.
How is your hub, Hafsa?
Horrible. I just don't train it a lot. My pinch grip is just not great. Yeah.
So you do the traditional hub?
Yeah.
You don't do like the doorknob? Okay.
So somebody did suggest that way, but is it the leaderboard? Is it traditional?
It's traditional.
Well, so there's different ways to contest it. I guess since the first time I heard of this freestyle hub was the first Super Series when Grip Genie made the hub for as a part of the Super Series, and that was the first time I ever heard of the hub being used in a non-traditional Iron Mind straight down way. But I believe that Armlifting USA tracks either both or they've consolidated.
I think the page still shows
there is a list for both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Traditional and freestyle.
My freestyle is probably, I don't know, maybe 15 kgs higher than the other one.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm really good at this one. I think people are familiar with my my butt lift. I do it behind the back. And
butt lift has a whole.
This one, I'm just garbage trash. My fingertip strength is very bad. But
Same.
like
too. Yeah.
eights together strong, like this, no.
Yeah.
I think Alicia Martin has the record for our
Yes.
weight class, and it's like when I think she
insane.
shared a video last year. I was just like, I don't get it. I don't get the mechanics of it, because she's got big hands, and I'm like, I don't know how. It's just, I mean, people have different gifts with this sport, and different strengths, but for you to get the overall win, I think you're selling yourself a bit short. You must be very good.
It was by a very small margin, because Tammy, oh my gosh, she is amazingly strong. I don't know the exact overall scoring, but I know we were very close. Yeah.
I think if you could check on the points on the overall, but I think if she had just held on for a couple of more seconds on that thing, she'd have taken the overall spot.
Yeah.
I think,
it was we all tied on the top three girls, myself, Tammy, and Helen. I think we all tied on the axle, and they both blew me away with their Saxon. So
they were both at 70 kilos for Saxon.
Yeah.
70 what?
And then 70 kilos for Saxon.
Okay. Yeah, there were three women got 70, which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
It was those two and Alicia.
Yeah, and
Alicia's marked at 65.
She just asked the judge offhand, hey, can I, I know this isn't going to count. Can I, have another attempt just to see? And she got a really, I can't remember what her final attempt was. That it wasn't, obviously didn't count towards her 4 attempts, but she just kept going on the Saxon.
That's amazing.
I wanted to ask her for tips. How did you do that?
I know. I can't wait to see her at the Arnold, because she's going to break some records.
I think
with
so
that.
too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, the top 3 were all you and Tammy were separated by 2 points for the overall.
Yeah.
But so that is crazy. And then Helen was right there too.
I think it was the last event, which surprised me, because I misunderstood because I know it started out as a mystery event, and I misunderstood what it was. So I told Matt, I think it's going to be a front hold for time. And so that's what he programmed me with. And then when I so then when I actually see what we're doing, I thought, oh no, this is going to be terrible. I don't know what I'm doing.
Wait, at what point did you realize it wasn't a front hold?
When I got to the event and saw what people were doing.
Nice.
So I remember text messaging my best friend and going, this is the event that is going to break me. Like, I'm not going to do well.
So you thought you'd be holding the chain like out in front like this?
Yeah, with the weight at the bottom, and I got nervous because I have I've been having some shoulder pain recently, and I thought, I'll hold on for like 5 seconds maybe. I'm not looking forward to this.
Instead of like a minute and a half
for next year.
Yeah, there you go.
I think I saw your story, Will, where you were like picking out the rocks for it, and I was like, ooh, what's this gonna be? And I was just like glued, like, I'm excited from here, and I that's really cool.
Did both of the rocks? I know that you said on the one of the rocks broke, or like the eye bolt came out of one of them, or both.
Yeah, so William Reed was doing some warm-ups. I let everybody warm up on the implement, which I guess in the end was a good idea, because it was kind of extended equipment testing, because I would have hated for that to happen in the middle of the contest.
Yeah.
He lifted it up, and so vertically, like up and down like this. Sorry.
Our non-viewers are safe from that, but
it was secure. But I guess he did something that twist.
That twist will always get you.
Twisted the eye bolt a little bit, and I guess it unscrewed. We used Corey Dabrinsky, it's Polish. I don't know how to pronounce it. Corey, from my friend from American Ninja Warrior, who lives out in Ramona, was kind enough to help me do this, and he, drilled out the stones. And my big concern was the stones splitting during the drilling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, if something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong right here. But the stones were drilled well, and then we used eye bolts and like this Gorilla concrete epoxy stuff, and it cured for like over like a week. So I was like, these babies are stuck. But I guess it was the twisting that just had. Yes, he had it. He was held it up, and then the stone just dropped, and it was just this moment of hilarious panic.
Oh no!
Because visually it was hilarious. It was it just like
just Will up there. Yeah.
So I had to scramble. We ended up using just loading pins with weight, which served the purpose perfectly.
Yeah.
And next time I'll use concrete anchors if I do something like that again. Or
just drill all the way through.
And paint it like a stone, like a little stone.
It did look cool. Like, I mean, it looked awesome. Like the whole sword in the stone, or whatever. And it just, that's pretty epic looking. But weights, it serves a purpose.
Event.
But visually, I think that's part of the vibe. Anyway.
Yeah, that is cool. And then the weights were 95 and 160.
We ended up loading the pins to the women's was, I think we put 90 pounds on it, and then the chain was 7, and then for the men we had 160, and the chain was 7.
It's pretty interesting looking at the difference in times between like the men and the women. Like the men held it for much shorter. That 160 must have been hefty.
Yeah, I've always, I don't know if this is something I made up or something, but I've always heard sort of that there's kind of a 60% with grip or strength. There's like a 60% difference in the top men and the top women. So I was like, okay, let's do half and then a little bit more. So if it was 160 pounds for the men, it would be 80. And then 90. So that's sort of the number I went with. Maybe I could have done 100 and the numbers would have been a little bit more similar.
Yeah, just funny because
I really liked the strategy too with the 2 attempts. And if we had chosen to take the second attempt, it would have wiped out the first. So it was interesting to see how close Tammy and Helen were, and wondering if they should take the second attempt because they were so close in points.
Yeah, it's kind of like blackjack, right?
Taking a second attempt, actually, and I think
she did? Okay.
I think it paid off. I think she got a couple more seconds, but not everybody that took a second attempt benefited from that. Like Ben Galper, for instance, if he had stuck with his first attempt, he would have won the contest. But because he lost the hold to William Reed by, I don't know, 9 seconds on the first attempt. He tried again, and then he lost it by like 12 seconds.
Yeah.
And if he had remained with that first attempt, he would have beat William in the overall by just 1 point.
Oh yeah, they were 3 points across.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like the way you did that.
Yeah, I thought that was very cool.
That would be a hard.
Like if you give it another crack at it and it fails, then your first your first one's wiped out. I really like that a lot.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Where you have to decide the pressure, like is it worth the risk versus reward, and maybe I don't, because grip is something that like once it's gone, it's gone. So if you think you have the time under tension and more in the tank, then bless your heart. But I
did not want to risk.
The reason I went with the 2 attempt system is primarily because, let's say you go up there and you just, get a bad start. You do it wrong and, you get like 15 seconds. Oh, I just grabbed it wrong. Oh no. Or like, whatever. So I wanted people to at least have the opportunity to have like one really good attempt. So that whole strategy play is kind of like a fun little consequence of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to that point, I don't know that I would have tried to redo it if I was you, Hafsa, because I mean, you and Tammy both went for like a minute and a half. So it's like,
I honestly, I don't
that's
think
crazy.
I knew what my time was.
Yeah.
Some of our neighbors actually came up to watch the competition, and he had a timer. So when he told me what it was, I still didn't believe him because
was it 88 seconds or something?
89, yeah.
Something like that. It
was 89 for you, 88 for Tammy.
Good at holds.
That's a whole commercial break, Hafsa.
Yeah.
I think you need to be a little bit more cocky. No, I'm like I really like you are kind and humble and like, but you are a rock star.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It's like
80 kilos on a Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, like that's insane. Yeah. Like my favorite gripsters are you and Helen because it's just like mind blowing. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. Aww. Tammy obviously too because she's so small and like she's stronger than she's a brick shit house and like it's just it blows my mind and oftentimes and I mentioned this to somebody I train with and I'm just like I always get in my head like I compare myself to who's at the top and I'm like I can't keep doing that because my body isn't the same and my strengths aren't the same and I just need to be better than myself every time I compete and just focus on that. Yeah, because like if I were to compare myself to you guys and Sarah, it's just like it's fruitless. It's like, okay, stop because you don't have, everyone has their different gifts and like pinch strength and
because on Instagram, Will would post every time a new person signed up for the grip comp. And when I saw Gabby Dixon had signed up, I immediately looked to my husband and said, I think I might drop out.
Oh, no.
There's no way. First of all, I wasn't going to cut to the 80 kilo class because I had put on some weight and it wasn't worth it for me to cut. So I knew she would be my competition. And, I mean, there's just, I would have had to accept my fate at that point because,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, you shouldn't show up to win, or show up only to win. You know what I mean? Like, you show up to compete, show up to be better than yourself. Show up for the camaraderie, the networking, the friends, seeing your friends in IRL. That's why I go to compete or run these things is to facilitate that. And one of my favorite parts of the contest. Now, mind you, I was busy running the officiating the men's platform. Was anytime you, Hafsa, came up to the platform, my attention would go to your platform because I love watching you lift because you exude so much joy and excitement and when you just beam happiness and it's so exciting to watch.
I get really nervous and I think it's like it sounds weird, but it's a coping mechanism. Even now I'm laughing because I'm a little nervous, but I also I end up enjoying it and having fun. A few of my friends have said, yeah, you hate it. You hate the days leading up to competing, but you do end up having fun. We see it on your face when you're doing something that you enjoy. And I've noticed that more with grip competitions than strongman. So it's one of the reasons why I got more into grip because it was something that I actually really do enjoy, even if I get nervous. It was the opposite with strongman. It was more, I just want this to be over. So I think that's why I'm focusing more on grip now.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, I mean it's you do, like, you exude so much energy and positivity with your smiling, and like, I love a fellow goofball. Like, I'm that way. Like, it's just like when I compete, like, I have to laugh, I have to have fun. That's kind of how I do things. And some people are very different. They're very serious, and it's like a business thing. But I like it because it helps me like unwind and loosen up the same way. So I can relate to that absolutely. And we haven't met in person. I hope to. And I just every time you lift, I just love it because, like Will said, it's just it radiates off you, and it just seems to. So big fan, like I said.
Thank you.
Yeah. We need more fun in grip.
Yeah, I was curious, Hafsa, if you wanted to talk about your 4 attempt with the Rolling Thunder and your approach towards that.
So again,
mind you, going into this, Hafsa, her previous grip contest with Ben Claridad, she set 80 kilo world record on the Iron Mind Rolling Thunder. So she was the woman to beat.
Yeah.
I think I got in my head, and everyone has said, obviously training, especially the closer you get to the competition, is going to suck. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel worn out. And so the numbers that I was able to train were nowhere near what I had in my head that I wanted to hit before the competition, because I felt like that would give me a little more confidence. But in training, I was barely able to get, 140 pounds on the Rolling Thunder. And so I kept thinking in my mind, the competition the last one that Ben hosted, I thought it was a fluke, honestly. I thought maybe the plates were misloaded. Maybe the
that
Rolling
wasn't
Thunder
80.
Yeah.
No, don't think that, Hafsa. Like, I went through the video, I counted the plates, I called him up afterwards, because I was like, not thinking that you couldn't do it, but it was
a
big lift.
Insane. Yeah.
So, I even had him weigh the loading pin, the carabiner he used, and I had him
that makes me feel better.
I had him do the test so for Rolling Thunder, if you have a good one, it's like a contest ready one, you should be able to bring the little triangle
and
arm
I knew,
up
like,
to 90 degrees,
and
it should freely swing down to the bottom. So I watched him do that a number of times. Everything
and
was
I had
good.
Complete trust in Ben, because I knew what he was doing. I mean, he's hosted plenty of them before, and he's competed in grip competitions. So I knew what he was doing. I really doubted myself. And so with the attempts that I was taking, I got in my head, even though I knew that I wanted to open up at a higher number, I started looking around, well, these girls are opening at this and this weight. And so I second guessed myself, and I opened a little lower, and then I wasn't thinking. So by the time my 4th attempt came around, I knew that if I went over the record, there was a chance that I wasn't going to get it. And I think I would have, I don't know. I went with my gut, and it just said, at least match it. And there will be other competitions that maybe in the future I can go for it and actually have confidence.
Yeah.
Did the $1,000 cash prize for breaking a world record occur to you in that moment? Because like, you could have done 80.1.
I know. So after I did it, Tammy looks over at me and she goes, do you think you got the money? And I said, I don't think so, because I just matched it. I think you had to break it. But in the end, being able to split the money across the podium winners was nice too.
The generosity of St. Hafsa.
Listen, I was just happy that $200 helped pay for gas in LA to get home.
Heck yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I
nice.
think Tammy walked home with $350, so she won $300 or $200 for first place in her podium, $100 for best pound for pound lifter, and then another $50 for the from Goddesses of Grip, because they did $100, $50 for each top
Very
woman.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. It's nice to have an incentive to do well and to be there and all that stuff. So that's very cool of you to organize.
Tax-free cash is always is always nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had mentioned Gabby Dixon previously, and yeah, she did confirm she was going to be there, but at the beginning of January, she reached out and she said that her coach wanted her to focus on the Arnold Strongwoman competition. So she had to pull out another heavyweight woman would have been there. She's the Highland Games, Southern California. Yeah, Jarvina route.
Yeah, I love her.
She pulled out as well. So the women's class would have been up to like 12 or 13.
Nice.
Yeah.
Were most of the competitors local, or were they
incredible?
Oh, and the Southern California strongwoman Lindsay Hall would have been another over 80 lifter. So I think we would have had 14 total female lifters and around, I think probably seven across each class.
That's awesome, Will.
It's tough to have, the winter is sort of the off season for strength. It's usually spring to October. So, it is tough to have a big contest in January. Because a lot of people
with the holidays too.
Yeah. Was that did most of the people there end up being fairly local? Like, is this all a big representation of just Cali, or I know Tanner's not, but
okay, so let's go through the classes.
Yeah.
The lightweight women, Tammy came from Idaho.
Oh, yep.
Helen's a local girl. And
Corinne's Canada.
What are the other names?
Corinne.
Oh yeah.
She's from Ottawa, so that's long.
She trains up in Canada with Eric Hussein, so that's international, interstate, and intrastate for that weight class there.
Kyra.
Kyra came from Utah.
Okay. Ashley Muncie
came from Oregon.
Autumn Swafford.
Or Washington, the Pacific Northwest.
PNW.
Alicia's Washington. Yeah. I mean, more West Coast, obviously. But Eric and Corinne coming from Ottawa. That's amazing. Mm-hmm.
And then I had, Alexei, who represents, I guess, the Finland and Russia. And then we had Marcus Ekholm from Sweden. So we did have, it was an international competition to some degree.
Yeah.
I would love more international representation next year. But, we'll grow it. I imagine next year, hopefully, we'll have 10 more people and then 10 more people after that. And I'd love to have 50 competitors. I think that would be a really great number.
That would be great.
Well, once I hop on Tren, I'll be there next year. So
when I talked to Jarvina, because I was excited for her to compete at it, but she's getting over her injury and it's just not the timing. Yeah. But I guarantee she'll be there next year. Kicking ass and joining you guys. Hopefully joining me because I love her too. I would love that. I would love to compete with her in a different sport outside of Highland Games. So that's something I'm looking forward to seeing in person because she's a powerhouse as well. She's got big hands.
Have you hand compared with her?
Yes, her hands are way bigger than mine.
Her hands are way bigger than mine.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Those are the intangible things. I can't compare myself to Jarvina because I'm not going to have that, wrap around on an axle or a Rogue or what Iron Mind, whatever it is. So I got to do what I can do. I don't have that. So, you make it work as best you can and you can't beat yourself up. It's just, did I do better than I did last time at this? Okay. Then that's a success.
Yeah.
I think that's what I took away from the LA comp is my best Saxon before that was about 110 pounds. I'd never PR'd on it in training, so I was
Oh, dang.
pretty
Yeah.
excited to hit that weight with the Saxon at this comp. So
yeah, so you did 57 and a half. So that's,
I mean,
that's solid.
I think Kyra,
It's a huge PR.
the Olympic climber, she had sent me a video. I think, she's like, "Oh, look, I hit 105 pounds on this," and then at the contest, I think she did like
She did
so much
57 and a
more
half
than
also.
that.
yeah.
I'm not good with the half kilos. 2.2046. So yeah, 120, almost 127 pounds. So that's a huge.
Was this Kyra's first
jump.
grip contest, like sanctioned or otherwise? Was this her first go at it? I think it was, because I don't.
Yeah, so I met Kyra last year at the LA Fit Expo when Ode was running the grip contest, and she wasn't competing, but she was friends with some of the climbers like Ben Galper and Steve Gaspar. So she floated around, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to try some stuff out?" And Ode, for one of the strongman events, uses that power stairs I used for the Sword in the Stone, and they hold a 2 3/8 inch Napalm Nightmare handle, and it was over there. It was over in the equipment storage area. So I brought her over there. I was like, "Hey, there's this cool rolling handle implement. You should come see what you can pull." And we loaded it up. 200 pounds, smoked it, and I think she got up to like 300 pounds on this Napalm's Nightmare handle.
Wow.
And like, I was like, "Okay, we got to get you going."
Yeah, that's solid.
I was like, "Where do you live? Can I fly out there?" Like I was just trying to do what I was like, "Let me fly you out to a contest, like come to LA, this, that, and the other thing." But she's really busy with her, climbing, always doing climbing trips and whatnot, and this, that, and the other thing. So I was like, "Okay, just let me send you some implements." So I reached out to Nemesis Grips, and we got her like a stubby 3x4. And then I sent her a Rolling Thunder, and I was like, "Hey, let's build from here." So she came out and she competed. She did great, and I hope she she continues to do grip. There's that other lady that I see in Utah. What's her name? Hannah Lindsay or something like that on Instagram, who's doing some crazy grip stuff. And I know Allison Vest is out there, another really like high level climber, and they're all buddies. So it'd be great if they could get out there, get together and do like a women's grip squad sort of thing. Idaho's not far. I'm sure Tammy would jump down there. So I mean, there's still so much untapped grip potential in the climbing world that we're just starting to break the surface of and seeing like how talented these people are. Like Steve is one of the best 70 kilo guys. He's so brand new to the sport. And Ben, he's climbing background, one of the best 80 kilo lifters of all time. Kyra, Tammy's a climber, Travis is a climber, Mark is a climber. Like all these people under 100 kilos, and like most of the women, if they're grip people, they could probably climb too, and all the climbers can grip. That's for sure.
All the climbers can definitely grip.
So like, there's just
such a
so
cheat
much
code.
hand in hand. You've seen what Magnus Mitbo can do with grip implements. With his videos at the training hall and with Jujimufu, and then that Emil Abrahamsson guy who did the Winter Grip Wars up in Sweden, and just toying with the inch and heavier inches. Like it's incredible. Nuts. Like I'd really love to see a lot more crossover in the grip and climbing world.
I think even I've seen some of the women's Highland games because of Haley and Jarvina, And do you feel like that's a crossover? A lot of Highland Games athletes are good at grip too?
Yeah. Heather McDowell from Oregon, she came out to the Worlds and she was amazing. And this was only her third grip contest. The first two being the Super Series. So, going from a small gym to a big expo like that, she came out and was completely poised, and she's a Highland Game athlete. And, she killed it. And I think she came in too early. And if she didn't, she would have done a little bit better. But I think she's planning on coming to the Arnold. And then her friend Rachel that also came, I think she's a 100-kilo competitor, amazing as well. And I keep trying to get other people into it, Highland Games wise, and we've gotten them out. But also, again, the travel to these kind of bigger shows is expensive. And so, once my hope is that it gets more attention, there are sponsors willing to put up put up cash prizes and things like that. There's more incentive, there's more return on investment to come and spend the money and travel. And like you said, Will, it's not about coming to win, but it would be nice to just some sort of return on investment, whether that is cash or whether sponsorship, swag, anything. So it would help.
Are there prizes at the Arnold this year?
No.
Not that I've heard of.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. I
mean, there weren't last year, were there?
Nope.
Oh, not last year either?
The prize is the potential to see Arnold himself. That's
just come down to L.A. You go to Jim Venice.
Well, don't stop. Don't cheapen it. This is what we have. So let us have it. Yeah. I don't know. I think the prize, I'll offer to buy somebody a beer if they do really well. Or biggest smile gets a beer. How about that, guys? Whoever looks like they're having the most fun, I got you. Okay. So probably not Carl, not Alexi. Those guys.
No, not Carl, not Alexi.
Yeah.
They're already out.
They're the gruff lifters. I'm here to do business.
I mean, legitimately, the first time I saw Carl lift, I thought he wanted to murder everybody. Like me and my friend Jake were sitting there. We're like, that guy's definitely killed people. Like you look at him and his competition face is intense. Anyway, we've said it before.
Yeah, Carl's honestly the sweetest, nicest guy. But when he flips that switch to mentally prepare for a lift,
straight
watch
killer.
Out. Yeah, he's there. He's there for a reason.
Indeed.
So I also just another kudos to you as far as the caliber of female athletes you did have come and show up. And I know Ashley Muncy competed in strongman as well that weekend and just absolutely killed it, still hitting PRs. Hitting PRs on all three events I saw. Quite an incredible performance, missed the podium by a little bit. And
just again an example of just a couple seconds more would have changed the game.
And it being that close and that impressive, you had a great group of female athletes, and that says it all, because that's what people want to see. They want to see personal records, they want to see world records, they want to see everybody at the same weight. Okay, who's gonna best to the other one? Okay, they all hit 70. Does anyone have any more in the tank? It's all very exciting, and that is what is going to grow our sport. So hats off to you.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And it was serious FOMO, oh man.
Yeah, I know.
If only I could have swung that, But
I wonder how much different it would have been if I had done an unlimited attempts format. Because then the girls could have pushed themselves even more. Hafsa could have go down 80, 80.1, 80.2. Chipped away at that record. I know that on the Saxon bar specifically, that Helen and Tammy, both on their third attempt, were kind of going back and forth between, should they do 75 or should they do 72.5?
Yeah.
So, with an unlimited attempt format, they could have, probably had some separation there potentially.
It's such an interesting way. Like, I like it for the aspect of like from a competitive side, you have to be smart with your choices and stuff, and so it adds that other layer of like, okay, yeah, like yes, it's about who can lift the most, but it's also planning out who you're lifting against, what you think they're capable of, and then also trying to push yourself to, if you're like, all right, I might not quite be there, but like I want to beat them, and so I got to make sure I'm planning it all out. I think it's great for that. And I like 4 more than like powerlifting you get 3. But I think 4 is a lot. That extra attempt is big.
When I went up to North Americans in Ottawa for Eric's contest, he had a 6 attempt contest, and I'm usually incredibly confident with my 4 attempts. Like, I know how I'm going to plan it out. Like, first one is your last warm up, something you'll get every time. Second one is one that you are very confident you'll get. Your third attempt is the one you trained for. This is what I want to show up today and hit. And then your fourth attempt is just, the icing on top. Yeah. So, like, with the 6 attempts, I was like, how do I even approach this? Like, should I just have 2 more warm-ups at the beginning or extra frosting? And it really threw me off. So, like, that, there was a couple of first-time grip competitors, like Vache. And I can only imagine what doing a 4-attempt contest on your first go is like. You're just like, I haven't touched half of these things. I have no idea. It's just, it's just sort of throwing spaghetti at the wall. So I specifically for him, and Kyra even, I'd love to see what they can do with like unlimited attempts for these newer lifters. But the reason I did that was not only the time constraints, but because, I think World's Strongest Grip, it implies that it's more of like a veteran contest. It's for all levels, but it's going to be, geared towards like, these are people who know what they're doing. They're incredibly strong, and they're the best in the world. So that's sort of the format that I put together. And I mean, you could see that people who were new to the sport still did really well. Like Vache got second in the heavyweight men category, and Kyra got third in the lightweight women. So like, don't let the format scare you from the contest. Just think of it, as an extra challenge, and try and get your hands on the implements.
No, it's not like there were not impressive weights lifted. So it was definitely a good representation of World's Strongest Grip. So solid contest, I think.
Hafsa, was there were there any regrets for you? Were you just happy you matched your world record? Is this something that you're gonna, kind of put a bug in the ear of, your gym and see like, okay, let's run another sanctioned contest. Let me get another crack at it. Like, is this something that's on your?
I definitely want to compete in grip more. I was actually thinking, I'm just going to ask Alan if maybe, we could host a super series, or even just, we pick the events, and I'd be willing to put in the work for it. And Alan is just one of those guys who's just incredibly supportive of the gym members. And I think one of the reasons why it was so easy for me to train grip was he literally has almost every piece of equipment that I would ever need to, to train for most grip events. And when I was trying out the Apollon's axle, we didn't have one at the time. And he actually he said, I know where I can get one. And he contacted Ben Claridad, and Ben let the gym borrow the Apollon's axle just for me to
Nice.
train on. So I've always felt really supported by the gym. And I really do feel like if I went up to him and just said, hey, I kind of want to see how far this goes, but it's hard for me to travel for it. Can we do a couple of grip shows if I get, interest in it? So I think that might be the hardest thing is I'm not a promoter, so I'm going to reach out to Will to help me at some point figure it out. But yeah, I would definitely like to. Okay, good.
I'll if from Alan's perspective, if he just wants to just be like, look, we'll have a grip contest on this day, and I don't want to do anything for it. That's fine. I'll drive up and run the thing. Like that.
Okay.
That's totally in my wheelhouse and something I'd love to do. I don't have all the, community networking, up in Sacramento, yet. So like I don't know who like the strong people are or like the people that would be interested in, but I'd be more than happy to facilitate any contest up there.
Okay.
With your potential world record on the Rolling Thunder in mind, one thing I would like to do this year is run a Rolling Thunder World Championships.
That'd be cool.
Traditionally used to be run at the LA Fit Expo, but I could run it anytime, anywhere. I guess I just got to reach out to Randall Strawson and get his
Dr. Randall Strawson.
Dr. Randall Strawson and get his go ahead, because I know Alexi is another guy that's got the Rolling Thunder world record, and he'd like to extend it. He did make an attempt for that at the contest in LA. He put 131 on the pin after a successful lift at 125. But it didn't go. He said he wasn't specifically training for the Rolling Thunder world record because he wanted to do, well in the contest overall. Which he did.
Yeah, that's one implement I don't even have. I don't even have one. I want to get one now. I'm inspired to to buy one because like the Country Crush is not equivalent. It's very different. So
when it comes to like traditional grip implements, there's the Axle, there's the Saxon, and there's the Rolling Thunder. Like the sport sort of built around Iron Mind, like. Mm-hmm. The first contests were, Little Bighorn, Silver Bullet, the Hub, the Axle, the Rolling Thunder, like so.
Well, because who was really doing it before then?
History and so many hands that have been on these implements. Yeah. That I think they're just really time tested and good places to start.
Yeah.
Any grip journey. This is this is not a paid advertisement for Iron Mind. It's just my opinions.
Yeah, I think then to answer your question, Haley, about regret, I think my only regret is not having confidence in myself with the Rolling Thunder and just saying, let's match the record for my third attempt, and then for my fourth, let's add, a little extra weight and see, because at least my third attempt would have been the 80 kilo, and then fourth attempt would have been like, I think Will said, just kind of go for it, the frosting. Yeah. That would have been my only regret, but next time.
How did the 80 kilo feel? Like when you pulled it?
Felt like it was max, but I mean, I don't know if I could have pushed it a little further. It would have been interesting to see, but it did definitely feel like, okay, I'm glad.
You were getting close, yeah.
We had change plates. I was prepared, so I had brought some, quarter kilo plates, just in case people wanted to get, frisky. But I ended up not having. I actually, I only used them once for. I think William Reed took a 151 attempt on the axle, so he had to get 2.5 kilos. And then the 131 on the Rolling Thunder for Alexi. So I ended up using the change plates. So I'm glad I brought them. Both attempts were missed, but
they were
I was able to
next year.
They were able to be attempted. Yeah.
Yeah. You had that option. There's always next year. I think it's gonna just keep pushing. Like, records are meant to be broken. You know, like they are, but the longer you can hold on to it, the more impressive it is. Because I mean, 80 kilos seems like a mountain to me, specifically because that's not a very strong lift.
80 kilos on the Rolling Thunder. I was in grip, Hafsa, for 5 years before I hit 80 kilograms on the Rolling Thunder.
So, to that point, so the Crush to Dust challenge for Iron Mind, the only one of those that feels totally unattainable to me at the moment is the 100 or is the 90 kilo Rolling Thunder. Like you have to hub 45 pounds, no problem.
Easy.
You have to close on number 2, no problem.
Easy.
You have to do 200 pounds on the Rolling Thunder.
Yeah,
and it's like,
really,
what?
It really is just a Rolling Thunder certification.
It is. That's all it is. The other two are nothing. Like,
but
anyway, it's just
you should probably
stupid.
Try and go after the
you should do the women's version.
Yeah.
How are you with grippers?
What's the details on that one?
I'll look it up.
Jalen, I think his Instagram is WGrip. He actually reached out to me after the Rolling Thunder and just asked, I think, what my hub was, and it's terrible. It's not even. I wouldn't be able to do it. So, I don't remember.
The women's isn't 45, is it?
No. Hold on. I got
25 maybe.
Will's doing the research.
One moment, please. We are doing the Crush to Dust. God, their website. Awful. Everything moves. Okay. Iron Mind Hub. All right, let's see. Where did it go? That is.
You're live.
I know. The only one they have on here, it seems like, is a. Oh wait, hold on. Wait. Crush to Dust Plus standards. Oh, 35 kilos.
You could just Google.
I tried.
Dust women.
I did, and then it was like, here's all the. Hold on, is there like a separate page for the? There we go. There's the certification list of women. I don't know, man. They don't have the women's stuff on the same page as the men's stuff.
Okay,
it's
well,
just
I'm
like,
sure the viewers at home can look it up.
No. I'm doing this now.
Just
kidding.
I find that the Iron Mind website sometimes is hard to navigate. I'm not internet savvy, but yeah.
They need you, Will. They need you to revamp it and redo it for them.
All right, let's see. So for 2024, Amy Waddles, Tammy McClure, and Lyudmila Gaidichenko are the 3 who have certified on it. So if any of those are listening and you all want to chime in, if you're just tuning in, go ahead and let us know if you're still listening at this point. Maybe if I go to the challenge kit and I say I want the women's version.
All right. Well,
this is really good. This is going to bug me.
It'll be on the radar.
It's something less than a number 2, less than 45 pounds, and
it's 1.5. I'm pretty sure it's 1.5.
That's a hard
barely,
one for me too. Yeah.
I think it's only 65 on the Rolling Thunder, 65 kilos. And I want to say it's 25 on the hub. I feel like I'm close, and obviously I'll look into it right after we get off and update. But I feel like I'm close because I was interested in doing it, and then I was like, oh wait, I got to buy this stuff.
Yeah,
you've always got to buy this stuff.
That's an expense in its own. Because I don't know anyone around here with them. I have the gripper, but I don't. That's all.
The gripper is hard for me. I think last time, so that was one of the things in the competition that Ben hosted. I think I did the trainer. I don't think I can close anything else about. I can't do anything above that. So I do need to
I'm
train
sure
that a
you
little
can,
more.
Hafsa. It's just a matter
Yeah.
of technique. Like if you have the hand strength to hold or lift 80 kilos on the Rolling Thunder, I think it's just going to be a matter of the set, like getting it set in your hand, and then from there you just the set's really
because like, have you done much V-bar stuff?
Okay.
Have you done much like vertical bar lifting, like hilt or grandfather clock or anything like that?
I just did. I'm off programming this week. So yesterday I went to the gym and just messed around with the
Oh, that's right. I saw that.
Arnold, and that was the I did the grandfather clock. So I mean, I've never really touched it until yesterday. So
I feel like that's the one that's.
What did you get? What did you get?
I think I got up to. I think it was 137.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that Alan makes every implement in grip heavier at
Slippy.
the gyms.
I have a gripe with the name grandfather clock.
It doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense. Have none of you seen the innards of a grandfather clock?
Okay,
yes.
But it's not a clock. What is it?
It's the counterweights. No, it's the counterweights that are in the clock.
Oh.
Yeah, but they're so skinny and they move back and forth, and like the grandfather clock is just a heavy tube. It's
Listen, hilt was taken.
I know.
They had to come up with something.
My grandparents had one of those clocks, beautiful work of art with the cuckoo birds and everything. Like I know, but I know, but come on, like no.
Okay,
fine. Like it's a mouthful. Like come on, grandfather clock. And like if you, I don't know,
grandfather clock.
GFC.
It's an embarrassing thing to say. Oh yeah, I hold 300 pounds.
Where did you get on the grandfather clock?
What?
Yeah.
You did what to your grandfather?
Your grandfather's what?
Anyway.
Don't say that out loud, Haley. God.
The reason I asked about that was because I think that the grippers and vertical bar have the most direct kind of correlation, I guess. Like,
interesting. I see what you're saying, but I've never thought about that because, like, this squeeze is the same squeeze you do like this.
Yeah. So it's very similar for that, and also I noticed that like my V bar is not nearly as embarrassing as my other lifts, and I'm decent at grippers, and so like for me it just seems to track.
Okay. But I'm shit at grippers, and I have a pretty good vertical bar. So do you think it's where I'm putting the grippers in my hand? Do you
very
think
likely
I
technique,
need to watch some YouTube
Carl has
videos?
a great video. Carl has a great setting video.
On YouTube or like he'll send it to me personally, pro bono.
I mean, he might send it to you personally, but it's on YouTube also. That's I watched Carl's, and then like after that, I was like, my 2.5 is super easy now, and so like it's just a matter of setting and technique, and like
cool.
I've gone on to close a 3 because of it. So
wow, look at you!
Yeah, it's a light 3.
Stuff.
It was the one that Petra sent me. Yeah, it's 140. It's not, I think the average is like 148 or something. So.
Oh, we don't want to piss off the grip board and give it to you right now.
Oh no! The springs. He boiled it. Anyway,
he boiled it. Fine. Wasn't certified. All right. Well, I mean. Is there anything you guys wanted to add about the contest itself? Was there anybody that surprised you? Anybody you were excited to see compete in person? Your favorite moment? Any favorite moments from the women's side?
I was excited to meet Tammy, especially because she was one of the very first women who reached out to me when I started getting into grip and started posting a little more. So she and I had we messaged each other, and she's just also just an amazing athlete to watch, and also really sweet. So I was excited to meet her. I was excited to meet Alicia. These are two women who I've connected with through social media. So meeting them in person was really cool. And obviously meeting Ode was.
Yeah.
I actually don't think I introduced myself. I just kind of gave a wave and walked away.
I think I had a similar experience. I think I was just like, oh my God.
Yes, yeah.
Ode, my God.
Oh my God.
Right.
There he is.
I'll see you guys.
He really is tall in person. Good. Okay.
Yeah. He's a large guy.
I was hearing people when I was reffing. He was walking by back and forth running stuff, and I heard from the crowd some people say, "Oh my God, look at that old man's forearms."
They say fantastic. It's a good testament to longevity, and like if you have grip strength and the longer you live, and
I really think that's just because you can pull yourself up if you fall down.
Yeah. I don't need life alert.
You don't need a life alert.
I'm getting myself up off that floor. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Grip athletes and climbers do not need life alert. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you have like rolling thunders hanging around your house to pull yourself up from.
Yep. Various anchor points around the house.
Get our parents involved in it ASAP because I don't want to worry. Cool. Again, great contest. Huge numbers were pulled. Do you think your implements were grippier, or it's just like the history behind them and like just everybody being excited to lift on them? Do you think it's a combination? Are you happy with your challenge mystery event? Will you do something different? Do you want to do that again?
So to answer your questions one at a time.
I know several, sorry.
I forgot all of them. But were they grippier? I know that Ode sacks and bars are the best in the world to lift on. And I know that from experience from not only lifting on them plenty, but also lifting on others. So, like, my first time on a non-Ode Saxon bar was at the Grinder Gym here in San Diego with Dave Depew. He ran a contest, and I had just hit my first 80 kilograms on Ode Saxon in contest, so I was like, okay, great. I finally have a respectable, Saxon bar pull. Like I'm not a child anymore. And then I went down, and I think it was the same type of bar. It could very much could have been Sorinex, like Odes, but I pulled 65, and I wanted to, jump in the Mission Bay with the Saxon bar tied to my ankle.
That seems right.
Yeah, his bars have history and magic. As far as the Rolling Thunders, they were all like,
they're all smooth and slippery and
Rolling Thunders. And then Ode's axle bars. The women's used one of Ode's, so that one was a little bit slippy, not slippy, but less Odie, because he
less odiferous.
Clean his bars before the contest. Whereas mine, though not as lifted upon, was not, tampered with, cleaned prior to the event. So,
it was tampered with, just not cleaned.
I do have a hard Saxon bar, like. My axle is what even Tanner said. It's harder than your average axle. So I think that for the women to pull PRs on that axle being kind of like cleaned prior to the event, and then PRs
there's more in the tank.
PRs are always expected on Ode's Magic Saxons, so that doesn't surprise me.
That's awesome.
I'm very much hoping that we get something like that at the Arnold, and I can finally get myself a respectable Saxon number as well.
Oh no, you think Sorinex is going to sponsor the Arnold?
Well, they had a Sorinex bar option last year, and I think we went with the Arm Assassin one for the contest, which I think was still grippier than the one that I've got. But like they did have a Sorinex option that I guess Ricky Baby brought.
Was it? So, yes. I think Arm Assassin was a sponsor, and so Ode's bars are raw steel. A lot of the Saxons you'll see in Grip Sport are
they're
like
coated,
kind of textured paint, like Nemesis Grips does.
Yeah.
Nemesis also offers a raw steel option. So when I bought my 2x5, I went with the raw steel because, I want it to age well and be like Ode's, but it does make it a much harder bar until it does get that age and the weathering and seasoning on it.
I live in South Carolina, so it'll take no time.
I think it was Tammy and I think William Reed kind of seasoning the Saxon. Yesterday I went to the gym to just kind of try out the Saxon, and I did the same thing, and a couple of people were looking at me like, what is she doing? Because I'm just trying to rub the chalk into, like, I saw the experts do it, so
right.
Yeah.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah. Yep. So, Hafsa, are you going to the Arnold then? Or were you just doing the Arnold implements for... okay.
I don't know that I mean, I guess I qualified technically, but it's just not in the budget, so...
Yeah, that's
maybe
fair.
someday, but yeah.
Oh, you absolutely qualify. I mean, you
Yeah.
have world records and championships. You absolutely do.
Yeah, the world's strongest grip was a qualifier. So for the Arnold, which Ricardo graciously allowed. So I think the first place in each category gets a Arnold Pro invite.
Wow.
Yep.
But
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's 4 weeks away, so yeah.
a little close now, but
well, I guess Hafsa, you went away with money, so you are
put it towards it.
Grip athlete now.
Yep. Yep. You're professional.
Yeah,
Get money for it.
You got paid to play, baby.
Hey.
That's all it is. It doesn't matter what amount. If you win something, you are a professional. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like Arm Lifting USA, obviously, the pro status, we're the same as the open athletes. We all pay to play, and hopefully, like I said before we got going, that it grows and there will be an opportunity for you next year to come on out. And just because there are, everybody from across the United States, there's some international girls coming.
It definitely is on my bucket list. I would like to at least attend at least one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say that, the Arnold is a thing worth doing at least once.
Yeah.
Just because, it is the Arnold. It is one of the biggest fitness expos in the world. But my main draw is going to see the pro strongmen. Like, that's just such a spectacle.
That's cool.
And it's set up so well. And, you go in there and you have the chance at witnessing history.
Yeah.
It's great stuff. So like, if I were to go now, that would be the primary reason. I would compete in grip, but then I'd just spend all my time watching the strong.
Yeah.
I just got myself a ticket to check it out on Saturday, so I'm pretty excited for that. I have a lot of friends that compete, so it'll just be nice to just be there and support. It's like a summer camp for strength athletes, like a weekend long, you can see all of your friends from different sports, and that's what's cool. Or even people you just only know through social media, and it's like, oh, here you are. It's so great to meet you in person, and like you said, IRL before.
Yeah, that's the really cool thing about these like expo contests, whether it's the Olympia or the Arnold or the World's Strongest Grip, is you get to see all these people that, you know, you only see online. And, you know, as Tanner was mentioning, like, the Super Series is great to be able to compare yourself against, you know, everybody else, and the King Kong, the same thing. But showing up and competing on the same day, on the same platform, with the same judges, the same implements, the same chalk, you know, the same humidity, dew point, like, that's really shows you, you know, where you're at with everybody else.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then you get a bunch of free energy drinks and get the jitters and
and get your pictures with celebrities, you know.
Hey, I got
celebrities.
I know the guy that runs the celebrity, take pictures with the famous people booth or whatever. Like, his company does that, and so got me and my boy got pictures with Ronnie Coleman 2 years ago. So
the key is you don't wait for him. You don't wait for him in line at the booth. You catch him in the bathroom, because they're people too. They all got to go pee.
Hey man,
hang out by
when you're done here,
and you know, you saddle up next to one in the urinal and you're like, "Hey, when we're done here, cool." So I got a picture, and it's a tough
it's perfect.
spot, you know. You just got
What are you gonna say? No to me in a bathroom? I'm talking to you in a bathroom. I'm a weirdo. You don't know what I'm gonna do.
Last year, like, Mike O'Hearn and Chris Bumstead had like $50 photo booths. And like, I was like, I'm not doing that. That'd be great to see him, especially with like the Baby Don't Hurt Me stuff and his videos going viral. But then, like, we went outside to go get food, and he's just like walking, and I'm like, yes, I didn't have to pay a damn thing. And like, I just like walked up to him, got a picture, and like cruised out. So like that is cool. You can see them, and you're like, but they are people too, and they're just they took their respective sports to a level that we'll never reach. Maybe
speak for yourself.
Probably not.
Is an anomaly. I worked out around him. I wouldn't say with him, but at Gold's Gym in Venice, and he's just so strong. Like, it's stupid. Like, lifetime natural. I'm not sure about that. I won't speak to that. But like, even at his age, doing what he's doing is incredible.
Yeah. He's a big dude.
If another play. Yeah. If you ever want to go see, other people, go to Gold's Gym Venice. You can work out with Arnold and Mike O'Hearn and RFK and all the goats.
As long as he doesn't talk to me, I think it'd be a fine workout session. Like, it'd be okay.
I jumped in RFK while RFK was running for president, while he was a presidential candidate. We used to work out at Gold's Gym, and I was on the leg press, and he was like, "Hey, can I work in?" He asked if he could work in. And
so wait, he does the voice even when he's not on camera?
It's weird that Ode and RFK are so similar.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has to work in on the leg press, and then he got his little quarter up sets in, and then he just left his phone at the leg press and just started wandering around the gym. And I'm like, if I was a bad actor, I could take a presidential candidate's phone and sell it to the highest bidder. Like, what is going on in this life? Where is his protection? Like, where are his handlers? Someone help this man.
Sir, you forgot your phone. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I don't even know. I can't. That's an impression I haven't mastered yet, but I am working on it diligently.
I don't know that I want to listen to enough RFK to get an impression down.
Oh, come on, man. These confirmation hearings have been just the highlight of my week. So, anyway, that's my sport.
Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. Congrats to both of you again.
Thank you.
And, I'm just like I said, really looking forward to seeing more from you. And I hope you can persuade your gym to hosting more contests.
Yes.
So we can keep seeing, the envelope pushed further and further and further. And
fingers crossed.
It's just, it's just so impressive.
Have you done key pinch, Hafsa? Have you done any key pinch yet?
No, no.
Okay, we got to do one of them.
That'd be fun. I'm excited to. I think that's the great thing about grip and still being pretty new is I have yet to touch all of the grip implements. So
yeah, there might be another one out there that you're just amazed, incredible at that you haven't even touched yet.
There are so many.
Exciting.
There are so many out there. So
I know, and Nemesis is making a new one every week, it seems. So it's amazing. Yeah. It's just gonna keep going.
That's the truth. That's cool.
Good job, Andrew. We appreciate your efforts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Very nice. Well, it was great talking to you guys,
and also
thank you for having me on.
And thank you for joining us.
And if you're listening, and you want to check out some grip stuff out on the West Coast, you can go to westcoastarmsports.com or check out my West Coast Arm Sports Instagram page under the same name. And then I'm also Squeeze, SQUEEZ _ big on Instagram as well. So I post all of my promotional stuff there. So if you're interested in what I'm doing or what Grip's doing out on the West Coast, that's where you can go.
Yes, indeed. And Hafsa, you can find you H Mason.
It's H Maso 84.
H Mason.
I'm private, but I typically will add people as long as they don't look weird.
Yeah, well,
as long as they don't look weird, have mutuals. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's the way to protect yourself. So I get it.
I don't think our podcast, this podcast doesn't quite go that far outside the grip community.
Okay.
But if anyone listening doesn't already follow her.
Yes, if you're just tuning in and you don't follow Hafsa or Will, then please do so. Get on it, idiots.
All right, Grabber Gang.
All right.
Thank you for joining us again on another episode, and we're out.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.